Uh, if you're going to compare it to your textbook, like in Myers and Hansen, typically the way they describe experimental design, medyo complex. I wouldn't say complex, pero it's not as simple as I would like it would it's not as simple as I would want you to frame it. So, kasi ito kapag nalaman mo lang yung main difference ng between and within subjects design, buhay ka na. Hindi mo na kailangang i-memorize yung mga pangalan ng mga pagkaka-design niya, the Solomon design, the pre-test, post-test. So, nagkakaiba lang naman siya ng tawag, pero the essential component ng iba't ibang combination na yun na nilagyan ng pangalan ay uh, all goes to between and within subject design. Except from other format no or template. Ito kasi yung pinaka-common. Kaya ang tinuturo ko sa inyo yung pinaka-common dahil para sa akin, hindi kailangan maging sobrang exhaustive ng ituro natin na masyadong broad pero wala naman kayong natandaan. Mas gusto ko na meron kayong mastery sa mga pinaka-popular para kapag may na-encounter kayong iba, pwede namang aralin nyo na lang afterwards or pwede namang meron na kayong baseline knowledge sa what it typically looks like. Okay? Yun. The principles remain the same, pero ito talaga yung gusto kong pagfokusan para magkaroon kayo ng starting point of mastery na kayo yung mag-iisip, magde-design, mag-implement, mag-execute, no? At mag-interpret, magsusulat ng lahat ng gagawin nyo dito. Kaya doon lang muna tayo sa most common sa mga journal articles na makikita nyo. Okay? The goal is to gain mastery sa between group and within subject research design. How are they different? So let's start with the between group design. Another term for it is between subjects. Ito yung pinaka-popular na alternative term sa between group is between subjects. Madalang, sabi kasi sa libro, ito raw yung other term for it, separate groups. Pero siguro what they meant about it is when it is phrased in a paragraph, in a sentence, they will not tell you the term between subjects or between group design. But if you if you notice the hint that in how they phrase it, they seem to show that there are separate groups, then definitely that's already a between group or between subjects design. Provided that the independent variable that you are referring to is something that is manipulated. Okay? So, kailangan may manipulated variable bago siya maging experiment. Other terms, again, interchangeable dito is independent group design, between subjects design, between group design. Iisa lang yung ibig na yung sabihin. Kaya kung may ma-encounter ka na ganyan, na iba-iba yung term, i-assume nyo na ito lang yung ibig niyang sabihin. Na merong halimbawa at least two experimental conditions. Kaya at least two kasi at least dapat may baseline kang pinagkukumparahan. Okay? Kung control condition man yan as your baseline or let's say from a status quo knowledge and then you're going to compare that status quo knowledge to another more novel experimental condition that you wish to test. Kasi nga 'di ba, sinasabi natin na kapag experimental research, kadalasan meron tayong sinusubukang idea and we want to check whether it will work or not. So kadalasan when we want to change something, let's say we want to alter something, let's say for the better, we are making an intervention. We are conducting an intervention. Kaya kadalasan maririnig nyo or mababasa nyo sa mga experimental research that they're referring to the experimental conditions when they're referring to certain interventions. Okay? Okay. The main signifier of a between subjects design is that the participant is only exposed to one condition, one level of the IV. Okay? So magkaiba ang level of the IV at levels of measurement. Huwag yung ano tayo? Huwag kayong ma-confuse dyan. Level of the IV and levels of measurement. Sa levels of the IV, binibilang lang natin kung ilan ang experimental conditions. So kung meron kang 2 experimental conditions, that's already 2 levels of the IV. Kung meron kang 4 na experimental conditions, meron kang 4 na levels of the IV. Okay? Kahit iisa lang yung tinutukoy nila na independent variable for as long as meron siyang levels or number of experimental conditions. Yun ngayon yung tinutukoy natin sa term na yun. The number of the experimental conditions. That's level of the IV. Levels of measurement, on the other hand, is referring to the type of data that you have. We are classifying that because in different statistical analysis, we need to account for what level of measurement are we using. So sa template na ginagamit natin, as I always tell you, we're using the template wherein the dependent variable is continuous and your independent variable definitely is categorical because it has your number of experimental conditions. Okay? Again, the main signifier for between subjects design is that the participant is only exposed to one condition or one manipulated level of the IV. Yun lang, exposure to one. Wala nang iba. Kung napunta ka sa level 1 or level condition A, then that's that. Wala na siyang next. Okay. So here is an example of a, let's say, journey scenario ng participant kapag ikaw ay mayroong between subjects design experiment. So halimbawa, si participant 1, una ni-random assign mo muna siya, tapos napunta siya sa condition A. Immediately right after that, you're going to measure the dependent variable. Right? Remember the 3 requirements for implying causal relationship. Sa first module natin ng lecture, 'di ba? Meron tayo dun sa scientific understanding of behavior. Nilista niya yung 3. Temporal sequence, covariation, and lastly, the elimination of alternative explanations. Okay? So ito yung temporal sequence na tinutukoy diyan. Hindi pwedeng magkalayo yan. Kapag ginawa mo na yung cause, kailangan immediately right after meron ka ng measurement ng DV mo. Kaya kung hindi malinaw kung ano yung gusto mong mangyari, uh, your DV could be anywhere. Again, intentional yan. Intentional na, again, basta na-expose sa isang condition, yun na yun. Measure the DV right away. Okay? So, the same scenario, let's say, with participant 6. Etong arrangement na to, hindi naman necessary na ganyan dapat siya na first 5 or first 50% ay condition A and then 51st to 100% of your target sample ay nasa condition B. So again, meron tayong ginagawang random assignment. Ito ay para lang neat lang tingnan in terms of paano na-experience ng participant ang random assignment of conditions. Ito yun, saan siya pumapasok dito. And then, of course, kapag na-assign na sila, you measure the DV. Because you are expecting that if you aggregate the score of this, bawa ito, ibig sabihin in-average mo. Kung kunyari in-average mo yung score ng DV dito sa first set of participants, and then ito din mineasure mo, tapos tiningnan mo yung mean, doon mo manonotice na maaring meron siyang uh, certain difference. Okay? you're, you're expecting, because that's what you're expecting. You are comparing the DV here, aggregate score DV of condition A, and aggregate score DV on your condition B, and you want to test among the two, which one is better, something like that. Kung ano man yung condition A na yan. So that's just way too big. The funniest icon that I encounter that I wish to share with you is this. Nung nasa first year grad school days pa ako na inaaral ko to, diyan ako tawang-tawa. Kaya madali ko siyang natandaan. At importante din naman talaga siyang tandaan. Hindi pwedeng hindi. Okay? Hindi kayo pwedeng lumampas ng experimental research methods kung hindi nyo na-master, hindi kayo nagkaroon ng mastery tungkol sa between subjects design at within subjects design. Within subject design. Yan ang mantra ko. Ang mantra ko, hindi pwede kayong matapos sa akin nang hindi nyo siya nagigits. Okay? Yan yung main difference. Kapag between subjects, isang condition lang ang makikita. Okay? Kino-confine mo nga eh, fini-filter out mo, mini-weed out mo yung mga mga bagay-bagay. Kaya dito, you are assured na kung ano man yung score ng DV mo, you are assured na it is not because of something else. Again, with the help of random assignment, no? Kailangan may random assignment. Kasi baka may qualities that are similar na nag-introduce ng systematic error. Hindi ko ma-delete. Wait lang. Nalilito pa rin ako dito minsan. So yan. So yan yung imagine niyo kapag between subjects design. Exposed to only one participant. Now, moving to within subject design or repeated measures design. Okay? As the name implies, repeated measures. Ang tinutukoy nila dito na repeated measures ay yung dependent variable. Yung DV nyo, paulit-ulit siyang mini-measure dahil yung lahat ng experimental conditions na meron ka, okay, lahat ng yun, ma-expose yung participant. Okay? Kung kunyari, dalawa yan, dalawang beses mo ika-capture yung dependent variable. Okay? So kung tatlo yan, tatlong beses mo ika-capture yung dependent variable. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na repeated measures design. Okay? Malinaw ba yun? So halimbawa, ginagamit naman ng repeated measures sa mga non-experimental research method katulad na lang ng longitudinal research, 'di ba? So yun, nagme-measure ka over time sa mga developmental site research, 'di ba? So nagme-measure ka over time pero the main difference between the longitudinal and experimental na repeated measures, the difference is that in longitudinal, walang manipulation. So within subject design, repeated measures design na experiment, meron pa ding manipulation. So walang takas yun. So what we meant about manipulation, yun nga yung pag-design nyo ng levels of the IV. Paano nyo yun in-execute? So again, the signifier here is that the participant is exposed to all of the conditions. Okay? Again, the participant is exposed to all of the conditions kapag within subject. So pwede nyo i-update kasi meron ng drawing dito before. Nawala na siya. Ano ba to? Annotations. So imagine niyo kapag within subjects design, kung dalawa lang naman yung levels of the IV niya, ang na-imagine ko dito na scenario is nakalagay ito, this is kamay niya. Siya rin nakaganon. Okay? Kasi ibig sabihin, pinapakita natin na dalawang levels of the IV ay in-expose sa tao na yun. Okay? Ito yung kamay na hindi ko ma-drawing. Sorry. Challenge din. Yan. Kunyari kamay yan. Mag-pretend na lang kayo na naintindihan niyo yung drawing. Okay. Okay. So kapag within subjects design, isipin nyo na lahat ng experimental conditions ay na-expose sa kanya. Katulad na lang ng, ano yung example natin? We have the cloth mother, and then we have this is the wire mother. Yan. So let's say mineasure nyo, how long did the animal subject stay in the cloth mother as compared with the wire mother? Okay? So yun yung gusto natin. Na-expose siya pareho, pero in terms of the behavior that is observed, meron pa rin nakuha. Sabihin na natin kunyari, nasatiated yung monkey. Kung satiated yung monkey, dun lang siya sa, let's say, sa cloth mother dumidikit. Masasabi ba natin ngayon na experiment, within subjects design experiment yung ginawa mo kung hindi naman lumapit yung monkey dun sa isa? Masasabi mo pa rin, ito ang sagot, masasabi mo pa rin na experiment siya. Within subjects experiment siya. Bakit? Kasi pwede naman yung measurement na zero, di ba? E di lalagay ko dun sa wire mother na zero yung time na interaction niya dun. So pwede pa rin siya talaga. Naintindihan ba yung difference ng between and within? Ito naman talaga yung main signifier niyan. Okay. So let me just continue. Oops. Clear all drawings. So ngayon, notice na kapag, di ba, sabihin ko sana yung sa data points, di ko pa pala napapakita. Okay. Erase. So, notice sa journey ng 10 participants, kunyari lang to kasi masyadong perfect na, na 50-50 kanina eh. Okay. Ito, masyadong round measure. Pero this is just for the sake of demonstration. So, ito ulit yung journey ng participant. Una, in-expose mo siya sa isang condition. And then, immediately after that, you measure the DV. Same goes for another condition, kung ilan man yan. then parang baliktad. Baliktad yata yung drawing. Yung arrow. How do I delete this? Pwede bang control Z na lang? Ayaw. Okay. Clear na lang. Again. So, pinresent sa'yo yung condition. Immediately right after, mineasure yung DV mo. Same goes to this one, wherein you have your experimental condition, experimental manipulation condition B. And then immediately, mineasure agad yung DV. So, that's the journey of the participant when taking part of an experiment. So kung kunyari kayo, in-invite kayo sa isang experiment, mananotice nyo yan kapag paulit-ulit ginagawa yung isang scale, meron siyang ibang ginagawa doon. Pero for the sake of charity, wag na nating hulaan. Di ba? So, okay naman na curious ka at na-fulfill, pero wag na nating i-spoil yung experience nyo dun sa learning process. At hindi rin tama yung depiction dito, baka mamaya isipin nyo na kailangan kotang-kota siya, di ba? Yan. Kasi pareho lang naman yun, A and B. Okay, next. Yan. Ang sinasabi kong wag niyong i-assume ay parating una si condition A. Yun, yung pala yung gusto kong sabihin. Not all the time, kailangan condition A yung mauuna. So kung dalawang combination yan, maaring AB, then BA, then AB, then BA again. Okay? So yun yung gusto nating mangyari. Next stop. Oops. Hindi. Gusto ko lang sana ma-delete yung ano, yung doodle. Pero sa stop siya mas nag-respond. Oops. Stop summary. Napindot ko yung stop summary. Share. Wait ah. Share screen. Ayun. Where is it? Okay. So yan. So that's how it looks like. Pero sa, ito depiction lang siya ng kung paano yung magiging sequence ng experience ni participant. Hindi pa yan yung parang kumbaga mathematical. Dali lang. Share screen. Sinasabi lang natin dito na immediately after the manipulation is conducted, we measure the DB. Next. Ito, napaka-importante nito. Table na to na galing sa libro. You can see here na sa between subjects design na meron pareho sila 'di ba na may level 2 level 2 IV kung ano man yung ano na yan IV nila. Okay. So sa level 2 IV, in order for a between subjects design to collect 20 data points, they need a total of 20 persons. So 10 packs, 20 data points, 2 levels of the IV. Levels of the IV, 2 packs, 20 data points. So next, pag nakita mo yung within subject design, oops, saan ang kopya nito? Wala, hindi siya makakopya. But for the within subjects design, in order to get 20 data points, okay, in order to get 20 data points, you need to have 20 packs. You only need 10 rather. 10 packs. Wala, nabaligtad ko. Ulitin ko Oh my gosh. Sorry. 20 packs. 20 data points. 2 levels of the IV. So 1 packs, 1 data point. Okay, that's for the between. Sorry, nahilo na ako. Okay. Next, dito, in order to get 20 data points, we need 10 participants. So 2 levels of the IV. So the next here is 1 person, 1 participant would make 2 data points. Okay? Paano kapag dinagdagan natin ng another level of the IV? Okay? Ilan na ngayon ang kailangan mong tao sa between subjects? Sino na nandito? Okay, so from 20 to 30. So kung kanina 20 data points, ngayon maging 30 data points. And then since 1:1 lang naman, yun lang, simple lang naman, di ba? Dahil 1:1, we need 30 packs. Okay, good job. So ganun naman yun. So sa within subjects, dahil nga ang mangyayari naman dito, 1 packs is to 3 data points. Ang mangyayari niyan, kapag naging 3 levels of the IV, magiging 30 data points pero 10 pa din. So solid 10 number of participants. So we're not saying here, ito baka malito kayo. We're not saying here na kailangan nating, kunyari kapag nag-random assignment tayo sa between subjects experiment, magkokota sampling tayo na kailangan perfectly equal 10 10 10 10. So hindi na natin goal na maging perfectly equal siya. Okay? Pero sa within subjects design, automatic siya na magiging perfectly equal kasi nga sa bawat isang tao, meron siyang specific number of data points na ginagather. Okay? So again, baka lang malito kayo ano tong ginawa natin dito sa 30 participants na merong um, tig-isang data points for 3 levels of the IV. Okay. So yun lang. So 1:1 and 1:2 number of experimental conditions. Yun yung bottom line nun. Next. So ito, I think na foreshadow na kanina kung ano yung advantages and disadvantage, or hindi ko kasi masabing totally disadvantage but yeah, sige. In comparison, it's a disadvantage. So the advantage in conducting between group design experiment is that yung exposure mo to the IV condition, sure ka, definite ka na independent na ano siya, independent observation. Na walang kinalaman yung ibang experimental condition mo kung bakit nagkaganon yung effect. Ito, malinaw na naka-confine sa isang tao yung particular score. Okay? At walang magiging problema in terms of noisy data, what we call noisy data. The disadvantage, nabanggit na illustrate na nga natin kanina, is that you will need more you will need more individuals or respondents in order to fulfill a certain number of data points. Okay? Kaya kapag between subjects design compared to within subjects design, mas marami ang target na number of participants. Okay? Ganun yung katumbas na implication nun kapag sa practice. Okay. In between group design, hindi pwede na makalimutan mo ang tinatawag na random assignment. Sa random assignment, again, iba ang random assignment sa random sampling. Ang random assignment, may kinalaman siya sa equal chance ng mga conditions na ma-assign ka dun. Okay? Equal chance for every participant to be assigned anywhere. Okay? Very, hindi ko pwede sabihin very equal. So yun, equal lang siya. Equal proportion. Okay? So, ito yung pinapakita ko sa inyo ngayon. This is how the data structure of one independent variable with 2 levels looks like in your Excel sheet. So, notice na meron akong makapag-drawing na maayos. Meron akong hiwalay na column sa bawat independent variable na meron ako. So, one call for every one column per variable. So, syempre, ang between subjects yan. Between subjects variable. Okay? So, katulad nito, meron akong isang column na nakalaan para sa between subjects variable. Kung madadagdagan man yan ng experimental condition, kunyari, merong pangatlo, okay? Madadagdagan lang naman dito eh. 11, 12. Tapos gusto ko sumabay sa trend, gusto ko hanggang number 15, kunyari. Okay? So, notice na ang laman niyan ay yung category label. So, ito ay category label. This is the categorical labels of the levels of the IV. Sa particular IV na in-investigate mo. And then another column, you have another column for the DV measure. So this is the DV measure. Yan. So for between subjects design, isang column lang ang DV measure kapag ganyan. Okay? Kasi nga, ang between subjects, isang beses mo lang mineasure yung DV mo eh. Repeated measures, di ba? Ilang beses mineasure yung DV nila. Okay? So that's how a between group design data organization looks like. Ito importante para sa akin to kasi kadalasan sa mga libro hindi nila dinidiscuss kung paano siya dapat i-arrange. Makikita mo na lang na meron siyang sample tapos meron siyang sample na hindi niya i-arrange according sa how it should look like in your Excel sheet. Pero ima-manual hand niya, long hand computation na ide-demo sa'yo sa libro. Okay? Hindi nila kadalasan sinasabi yan. Kaya ako, binibigyan ko to ng emphasis ngayon dahil kapag bibigyan ko kayo ng task, halimbawa, na mag-analyze ng experimental research, uh, mag-analyze ng hypothesis, kailangan alam nyo kung saan nyo hahanapin yung variables na kailangan nyo. Okay? Depending on your experimental design. So kung between group design yan, ganyan yung magiging itsura niyan. Okay? Paano kung more than one independent variable? Eh di madagdagan pa siya ng another column. Ganun lang siya. Okay? So tandaan nyo yan. Importante yan. Alam natin na wala na kayo sa stats, pero again, ang experimental research method ay quantitative. Kaya hindi pwedeng hindi tayo gagamit ng statistics. Pati sa mga binabasa nyo, hindi pwedeng walang statistics. Okay? Hindi dahilan ay nakalimutan ko na. Okay? Hindi nyo pwedeng gamitin yung card na yan. Dahil the curriculum is designed for you to do it as a prerequisite. Kung prerequisite yan, dapat i-strategize mo kung paano mo siya mas matatandaan in the long term. Kaya nga ibang effort yung talagang i-appreciate mo siya, yung magiging curious ka na alamin. So ibang effort yung gawain doon kaysa yung meron kang slides, meron kang notes, pero hindi nag-stick sa'yo. Dahil in the first place, hindi ka naman na curious how it will work, how useful is it, di ba? Yung mga ganong bagay na um, yung ikaw mismo as a learner, yung magre-regulate ng interest mo. Paano ka ma-excite sa ginagawa mo. Okay? So the way I manage that is, I try to think of scenarios na kapag di ko siya naintindihan, ano yung consequence sa akin kung let's say wala akong naging appreciation for it. Okay? So that's how I try to trick my brain into looking at the value of what is being presented to me by really trying to appreciate it. Yun yung ina-appeal ko sa inyo na wag nyo lang basta i-memorize. Of course, memorization will always be part of it, but to remember it because you understand it is a different thing. Okay? Hindi lang siya, nag-memorize ka lang ng multiplication table. Oo nga, minemorize mo yung multiplication table, pero hindi mo naiintindihan. Hindi mo kayang ma-reproduce yun pag through memorization lang. Pag hindi through memorization. Okay, how about for the within subjects design? Okay, for the within subjects design, relative to between subjects, the advantage is that we need fewer participants. Katulad nga ng dinemonstrate natin, kahit naging 3 levels of the IV pa, we're sticking to 10 participants. Okay? Itong tinutukoy dito na statistically robust, saka na lang natin to i-discuss dahil sa ngayon, in terms of our scope, dinedifferentiate pa lang naman natin ang between at within. So, i-take note nyo na lang that this is one of them. So, pero may kinalaman yan sa, malaki ang kinalaman ng statistics dyan na effect size. Okay? Yun yung term doon. I don't know kung na-encounter nyo siya sa stats nyo, pero kadalasan na convention ngayon na dinedemand na isama mo daw i-report ang effect size. Pero kung hindi nyo man siya na-extract or nakita na ni-report sa article, there are ways for us to compute for the effect size. Okay? So for now, let's keep it there and we can continue. Okay, for now yan lang muna. Mini-mental note natin na merong tinatawag na merong quality ang within subjects bilang statistically robust. Pero if I were to hint you, it has something to do with the yung pagiging maraming data points na nakukuha nyo sa bawat tao. Kasi sa between subjects, isang data point lang. Pero ang within subjects, multiple data points. So may kinalaman dun. Okay. So, i-elaborate pa natin yan kapag nag-specify na tayo sa within subjects design. na conceptual and practice. Disadvantages is that it may have carryover and order effects. These are the threats to internal validity when the participants learned in the exposure of one condition or level to be carried over to the next condition or level. An example of which is, kunyari, kapag repeated measures yung gagawin mo, let's say, naging familiar ka dun sa task, mas gumaling ka. Or kaya naman, kung cognitively taxing yung pinapagawa sa'yo, tas paulit-ulit, dahil napagod ka na sa mga ilang sumunod na humina na yung performance mo. Okay? Or kaya naman, ano pa bang ibang real? Sa performance, reaction time, di ba? Kunyari, dahil sa practice effect, or dahil paulit-ulit mo siyang na-encounter, mas naging confident ka, tapos tumaas yung accuracy mo, and then bumaba yung reaction time. So, ngayon, yung effect na yun, hindi dahil sa kung ano man yung minanipulate mong independent variable, pero dahil for the fact that you repeatedly measured the DV. And let's say kung meron kang task na pinagawa, na umulit, hindi na ngayon yung manipulation mo yung i-interpret natin. So, hindi naman tayo interested, di naman natin research question yun na gagaling ba sila kapag inulit-ulit mo. Ang research question mo has something to do with kung ano man yung experimental manipulation na ginawa mo dun sa different conditions. Okay? So, in that case, if there is a doubt, so yun na nga yung threats to internal validity. Yung meron kang source ng pagdududa kung talaga bang merong cause and effect relationship yung variables of interest mo. Ngayon, yun na yung naging problematic, yung threats to internal validity. Okay? So we will provide more examples when we meet and talk about within subject design. Okay? So ngayon, in order for us, so ito na ngayon kasi yung caveat mo. So sinasabi niya na nga natin na, logistically, napakadali palang gawin ng within subjects kasi konti lang yung kukulitin mong tao, tapos statistically robust pa siya. So syempre, parang yin yang, mayroon kang tinik, meron din siyang cost. So ang cost niya ay meron siyang potential, nag-introduce ka ng confounding factor, which is the carryover or the order effect. Kaya the way for us, in order to address this, the carryover and the order effect, one thing, kung let's say using a software, let's say a stimuli presentation software, kaya niyang i-randomize yan, edi sige, good for you. Okay? Pero kung hindi niya kayang gawin yun, meron namang tinatawag na counterbalancing. So ito yung parang planado, okay? Planado sa'yo kung anong klaseng order ng quote-unquote randomization, order ng the way you present your experimental research methods. So that's counterbalancing. Okay? Another way of interpreting it kapag sa mga within subjects experiment, kapag meron kang, let's say, halimbawa, meron akong kinonduct na experiment sa yung Policarpio 2022, meron akong set of stimuli na meron siyang attributes that I'm interested in to test in my hypothesis. So sa 10 pictures na yon, merong fair-skinned versus dark-skinned, merong male, merong female, merong ano pa ba? Yun. So, ganun yung combination. So, ibig sabihin, sa 10 ganun, dapat mabalanse siya. Mabalanse mo na 5 doon ay darker skin toned and 5 doon ay fair skin tone. Okay? And the other adjustment, uh, I think yun na yung dalawa. So, one is the skin color and the other is the gender. So, gusto kong gawin sa set of my stimuli na 10, mababalanse ko na 50-50 lang sila. Okay? Kaya natin ginagawa yun. We are controlling any potential extraneous factors. So kung tayo mismo yung mag-introduce, katulad nga nun sa carryover effect and the order effect, kung same lang ng order ng pagkakapresent mo yung experiment, then fine. Okay? Hindi ko alam lately bakit sa mga surveys, ginagawa na rin nilang nirarandomize nila yung sequence ng ng mga skills na ginagamit. Hindi ko magets bakit kailangan nilang gawin yun. Siguro to avoid monotony, I'm not sure. Kasi kung wala ka namang particular na minamanipulate dun sa sequence, halimbawa, wala ka namang hypothesis about it, okay lang. I think, okay lang naman na uniform yung encounter ng mga tao sa survey. Sa experiment lang talaga siya very crucial. So, sa survey, hindi ko alam kung anong use nun. Pero sa experiment, ang purpose niya talaga ay kung meron ka mang systematic error, you wanna make sure na you're spreading it evenly. You're spreading it uh the same with the same amount as the others. Okay? So that's how systematic error works. It should not be confined to one group over another. Okay? Kaya tayo nagra-randomization. So kapag between subjects design, we use random assignment. Kapag within subject design, despite of ang dami niyang advantages, meron naman siyang cons na, yun nga, meron siyang cons na iisipin mo yung carryover and order effect. Okay? So sometimes it depends on the nature of the topic that you're actually studying to determine, for us to determine kung mas advantageous bang gamitin mo ang between or ang within. Okay? So sometimes it's necessary for us to do between, and sometimes kung wala namang issue, we can proceed to within subjects experiment. Okay. So ito yung tinutukoy ko kanina sa mga icon na nakalagay na participant numbers 1 to 10 na hindi naman by uniform na kailangan AB yung sequence niya all throughout. So dahil dalawa lang naman yung permutation na pwede mong magawa sa two levels of the IV na to, AB and BA. Ang gagawin mo dito, sa first participant, ang sequence niya ay A and B condition. Sa second participant, ang unahin niya ay B and then A. So paulit-ulit lang yan. Let's say kapag odd, puro AB, kapag even, puro BA. Okay? So ganun yung parang manual natin way of trying to still follow the randomization. Okay? Ngayon, notice na every time nag-increase ng number yung level of the IV nyo, nagkakaroon din siya ng bigger number of total ng combination that is possible using that, let's say, 3-digit code or 3-digit tawag dito, label for your condition. So let's say ABC, so A for the first one, B for the second, and C for the latest. Okay? Ito na yung nakakahilong part. Okay? Baka tinititigan nyo to. Kung napunta kayo, kung yung experimental condition nyo ay 4, okay? Kung ang experimental condition nyo ay 4, ang ginagawa ng table nito dito sa ilalim, tinanong niya na ilan ba ang posibleng combination ang pwede kong gawin to counterbalance the order effect of ABCD. So, nung dinagdagan natin siya from 2 to 6, then 6 to 24, okay? So, yung 24 na yan, kapag ginamit mo yan lahat, halimbawa, participant 1, ABCD yung kanyang encounter. Participant 2, ABDC, and so on and so on. Hanggang sa umabot ka sa 24. Kung gagamitin mo to lahat, the next participant should be ABCD. Okay? So, ganun yung patakaran natin dito na kung kunyari, manual mo siyang gagawin, ito yung pwede mong i-operate. Especially kung di naman computer task yan, di ba? Ito yung pwede mong i-operate. Nakaplano na yung sequence ng or yung order ng experimental conditions mo, i-implement na lang. In my master's thesis, hindi ko yan nagawa kasi meron about 8, 16 levels of my IV. Not really the independent variable in itself, but that's just part of the task, or that's just a way for me to try to capture what I need. So meron siyang part na 16, so 8 na incremental yung ino-offer dun sa money game, and then 8 na decremental yung ino-offer dun sa money game. So kung 16 yun, at i-combine ko, isipin ko pa yung how many total number of combinations are out there at i-incorporate ko sa study ko. So hindi na siya practical gawin. So sa akin, meron na akong ibang procedure na ginawa kasi yung stimuli presentation software, hindi siya nagre-randomize ng katulad how I want it to be. But siguro ngayon, hindi ko na alam, baka may nagbago na sa interface. So kung sakali nga na manual lang lahat, kunyari manual ko pa rin siyang gagawin, no? Pipili lang ako ng ilan. Kunyari, 8 yung pipiliin ko. So, sige, gamitin natin yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, ayoko yan. Ulit. 5, 6, 7, 8. So, kung kunyari, 8 lang ang gagamitin ko para sa experiment ko, ang tawag natin dyan ay incomplete counterbalancing. Kapag ginamit mo lahat ng possible combination or permutation of orders, kapag ginamit mo yung lahat, ang tawag doon ay complete counterbalancing. Kapag hindi mo ginamit lahat, tawag doon ay incomplete. Sa totoo lang, wala namang magpopolis sa'yo kung ginawa mo ay incomplete counterbalancing. For as long as i-report mo siya na yun yung ginawa mo, that should be enough. And kung sa literature, wala namang reason to suspect na kapag ito yung certain combination ay, let's say, sequence ng presentation na to ay hindi siya magkakaroon ng impact, then that's also fine. Sa iba, ang ginagawa nila para mapakita sa readers na walang kinalaman yung pag-select nila ng ano, ng mga tawag dito, ng order of combinations, combination of orders rather. Pwede silang mag-conduct ng supplementary statistical analysis just to demonstrate na look kahit naman incomplete tong ginawa naming combination, wala namang naging issue dito para sa interpretation. Okay? So, hindi na ako lalayo doon, pero I'm just saying na pwede yung gawin. Okay? So, ang point ko lang dito sa slide na to ay merong tinatawag na complete counterbalancing at merong tinatawag na incomplete counterbalancing. Okay, next. Dali lang ha. Okay. So ito, let me correct this. Yan, katulad nga niyan, ito ay aking lumang slides at meron pa siyang error. Please bear with me on this. Tawag dito ay within subjects. Within subject design data organization. Kung kanina, merong column 1 na nakalaan para sa IV nyo at merong another column na nakalaan para sa DV nyo, dito ibahin nyo yung setup. Notice nyo ito, ang tinutukoy nila dito ay yung levels of the IV nyo. Okay? So, meron siyang corresponding column for every experimental condition. So, number of columns is the number of experimental condition. So, syempre, repeated measures within subjects, experimental condition. One IV lang, one IV na within subjects experimental condition. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? So, meron akong, how many? So, meron akong 1 and 2. So, since meron akong 2 levels of my IV, so, so, number of experimental condition. So, that means I have 2 columns. So, 1, 2. Number of, dapat of 2. Number of the one IV na within subject experimental condition. And notice that the score here is now doubled. Di ba? Sabi natin repeated measures design. Ano ba yung nire-repeat na measure? Ang nire-repeat na measure dito ay yung dependent variable. Okay? So DV1 measured once, DV2 ay DV1, DV measured once, DV measured 2. This is called, every row is called case ID. Case ID. So number of rows correspond to number of respondents. Okay? Yan. So, yan yung structure ng within subject design data organization. Kailangan, ano yung importance kung bakit ko to sinasabi? Kasi kapag pinrovidean ko kayo ng data at stated na doon kung ano yung hypothesis, of course, you will know what the IV and the DV is because of the hypothesis. Hahanapin mo siya ngayon. Yun yung task ko sa inyo na ititrain ko kayo na paano maging less anxious when handling data set of other people. So, tawag doon secondary analysis. Kailangan ma-recognize nyo siya na parang, ay, nag-conduct sila ng within subjects design na study, pati sa hypothesis testing. Ano yung itsura ngayon ng dataset? How would I imagine it to look like? Okay? So, yan yung na-notice ko na parang missing piece na kung bakit litong-lito yung mga classmate ko nung panahon na yun. Kasi hindi nila iniisip kung paano yung structure ng dataset nila kapag kinuha na nila. Kaya nga, ang lagi kong binabantayan bago kayo mag-collect ng data is yung instrument nyo. Kasi kapag nakita ko na yung instrument nyo, may imagine ko na kung ano yung magiging itsura ng dataset nyo. Okay? Kaya ko na siyang ma-imagine. Ganun yung gusto ko na ma-anticipate nyo. Kasi dahil a-anticipate na kayo ng kung anong klaseng analysis yung gagawin nyo. Tinatama nyo na, minamatch nyo na sa instrument nyo. And yung instrument, of course, nakatugma pa din sa kung ano yung research problem. Okay? And the way it is operationalized. Okay, next. So this is in summary, the difference between subjects design and within subject experimental research design. For the between group, essentially, may na-recognize ka na grupo ng mga tao na punta sa isa at grupo ng mga tao to another one. But for within subject design, hindi nila sinasabi na may grupo na napunta to either of them. Because they're already assuming na lahat ng respondents ko ay subject to experimental manipulation to all of my interventions or conditions that I designed at a particular period, parameters ng study. Okay? So lahat ng ginawa kong experimental condition in that particular study ay na-encounter ni participant for the within subject design. So ganun ka simple yung differences nila. Ito, another thing that you should remember with regards to the use of statistical analysis. So baka sabihin nyo na naman, nakalimutan nyo na, pero ipapaalala ko sa inyo na kaya natin sinasabi puro t-test at analysis of variance yung ginagamit natin kasi naka-align siya sa experimental design. Okay? Kaya nga yung hypothesis statement nyo, di ba, ang gusto kong mangyari, sa hypothesis statement pa lang, meron na tayong hint kung ano yung experimental design niya. Kasi kapag ganun yung practice na gagawin nyo, may imagine nyo na din kung anong klaseng statistical analysis yung gagamitin nyo. For t-tests, ang ginagamit yan kapag two levels of the ID. Okay? Ang analysis of variance, ginagamit yan kapag more than 2 levels of the IB. Okay? The main difference of its use ay kailangan nyo ring linawin kung between subjects or within subject design yung gagawin mo. Okay? Kasi kung between subjects design, kailangan mo ng independent samples t-test. Kapag naman within subjects design, tandaan nyo to paired samples t-test yung gagamitin nyo. Paired sample t-test. So pag analysis of variance, may between subjects ANOVA. So meron ganun. Sa statistical software, so between subjects ANOVA, lagay natin. Sa statistical software nyo, hindi niya na ile-label na between group ANOVA yan. Okay? So by default, sabihin niya ANOVA. Okay? Pero kapag within subjects, dun niya sasabihin na repeated measures ANOVA. Since same lang naman sila ng tinutukoy, so RM ANOVA. Okay? So yan yung main yan yung mga imamaster nyo, yung for analysis na yan. Independent samples t-test, paired sample t-test, between subjects ANOVA, and repeated measures ANOVA. Saka na natin i-introduce yung iba pang klaseng ANOVA. For now, ito muna yung kailangan nating ma-master in terms of when are we using it, what are the essential, what are the requirements na ano yung, paano naka-frame yung research problem mo, like ilan ba yung levels of the IV, ano experimental design niya. So yun. Kapag nasagot mo yun, madedetermine mo almost immediately, like as if automatically, that you will use a particular analysis. Because you're already aware what the hypothesis is, what the IV is, what the DB is, how many levels of the IV there were, and finally, what experimental design was used for every independent variable disease. So yun yung imagine niyo na individually dapat alam niyo yung hahanapin niyo, alam niyo yung pipindutin niyo. Yung pindot, secondary na lang yan. Okay? Yung pindot, secondary na lang yan. Ang pinakauna muna is naintindihan niyo malinaw sa inyo kung ano yung research problem at ano yung hypothesis. Saka paano siya nagre-reflect sa instruments niyo at sa data. Kapag hindi niya nasagot yun, lahat naman ng pipindutin niyo sa software, it will show you something. But if you don't know what you're doing, it will just show you some things that you think are interesting, but it's really not addressing what you're trying to do. Kaya dapat intentional ka sa lahat. Yung paulit-ulit nating ginagawa from weeks 1, 2, and 3, paulit-ulit nating tinatanong what's the hypothesis. Hanggang sa mapurga kayo, ulit-ulitin nyo yan. What's the hypothesis? What's the IV? What's the DV? What's the levels of the IV? lahat yon. What's the experimental design? Ngayon, ito na yung finale ng mga dapat nyong isipin, which is the experimental design, for you to be able to determine what appropriate statistical analysis will use. Kadalasan sa mga articles na makikita nyo, gumagamit din yung iba ng ANOVA kahit 2 levels of the IB lang sila. So wag nyo na lang gayahin yun, okay? So wag nyo na lang gayahin yun. Gusto kasi natin, ine-emphasize ko, yung discernment nyo on why are we using this but not that. So in order to fulfill that, let's be strict that we're going to use t-test when there's only 2 levels of the IB. Okay?